Swadeshi. We all want to improve our public speaking skills, but we do not know from where we have to start. Today, we have a celebrity, a champion with us. He is a passionate public speaker. He is a chef by profession and running a small chain of bakery called Daisy Dozen by AK. He has 3 outlets: Wadgaon Sherry, Kharadi, Rahatni. He is also fitness enthusiast. So now, most of the people I hope already recognize whom I am calling. So let's welcome ToastMaster Azharuddin.
Thank you. Where do I begin? Or how do I start? Well, the first question arises in our mind how to begin our speech, isn't it? How many of you have actually faced this problem ratio? Well, most of us. We don't know where to start from. Hence, we try to look upon or actually ask our friends, our seniors, our mentors, please help me out with the speech, or let me see the world champion speeches. Who is your favorite world champion?
Manoj Vasudevan.
Vasudevan, okay. Dhananjay. Why Manoj Vasudevan?
Because I like his the voice variety, the
Right.
vocal variety, and his the final speech that he gave was awesome. The content, very strong content, wherein he compared that arrow and boating.
Pull less, bend more.
Yes.
Why Dhananjay?
Because the way he gave the entire speech in just 400 odd words, and his voice modulation and sense of humor,
Okay.
and the story itself.
While we can have difference of opinion from whom we like, it's very subjective. Similarly, judges will like somebody else's speech. Not necessarily everybody should like it. We always say that we're not ice cream, right? Not everybody loves you. Now, I come from a blacksmith family. Manpreet and Ansar have heard the story. It's a small town called Shikaripur in Karnataka. Mujib is my cousin, who's still a blacksmith. Blacksmiths are extremely hardworking. They work under tremendous pressure while forging the metal into a blade. An iron is actually heated under fire until it is soft and malleable. It is then beaten repeatedly, heat, beat and repeat until the metal stretches. It is then grinded and sharpened. That's how you get a fully functional blade. Otherwise, the metal will just rot and ruin. You and I are those metal chunks and yet to become a fully functional life. Many of us do not take that first step. My cousin is an expert in his field. He's an expert blacksmith. He knows his job very well. But one day he was in Bangalore for the first time in one of the biggest malls. And he didn't know how to use the sensor tabs. And he was extremely ashamed to ask others because he thought others will think very little of me. They will laugh at me. Many of the time, we also do not take that first step is because we are ashamed of asking. But he saw something strange that day. A man standing next to him touched his ears and said, "Salaam alaikum," washed his hands, and left immediately. Salaam alaikum means peace be upon you. And he was extremely astonished to see somebody doing that. He thought, I might as well try. He actually did that. Assalamu alaikum, and tried washing his hands. But the tap didn't work. I'm not faking the actual story. He tried little harder. Assalamu alaikum. It didn't work this time. And this time he went little closer to the tap and he tapped. Assalamu alaikum. And all this time my uncle was standing there and laughing at him. And he said, Mujib, the other man was speaking to somebody on a Bluetooth phone. This is how the tap works. This is a sensor tap. And from that day, we all tease Mujib. He's my cousin. Because of this incident, he realized he had this inhibition of not asking. That he's washed his hand and his inhibition. I should ask for help whenever I need somebody. It's okay to be ashamed once, then forever. Now he's ashamed forever. I don't know about you, but I had my own inhibition while speaking up. I also joined ToastMasters like you a couple of years ago. But in my college days, I was an average student. I was an average student. I hated mathematics and my mathematics teacher, PPD, that's what we called her, Pratibha P. Deshpande. And I didn't understand anything. And everybody was scared of her. So I didn't ask any questions. But there were two guys in the class, Bharat and Shilpa, and these two guys were the toppers in the class. And sometimes there would be a competition between the two who asked the most intelligent question in the class. And looking at them, I said, Azhar, forget math, speak English first. I couldn't speak. I couldn't speak a word because I thought the girls would laugh at me. I was extremely embarrassed. And one day I scored 0 in my midterm exams because I couldn't speak English. I wanted to ask something but I could not because of various reasons. And I was that metal chunk. Mujib was that metal chunk. How many of you been a metal chunk? Most of us. Could be anything. It could be anything. That's why we come here to polish ourselves, to become a fully functional life in public speaking. We all have aspirations to become a world champion of public speaking. It could be for various reasons. You want to just be there with the world championship and everybody wants to watch you closely. You want to make somebody proud. You want to lift that trophy. But joining ToastMasters, I learned something. You can fail multiple times. But it's up to you, like you said, back in the game. Refuse to give up. The champions I've seen, or most accomplished speakers, accomplished people in the world, are humble people. You might become world champion tomorrow, but remember to stay grounded back in the game. Humility comes only when you're humiliated. And all these big people that you see, that you admire to become, have humiliated at least once in their life, maybe more. I was humiliated multiple times, but I know something for sure, that I will never give up. World Championship happens once in a year. And from club, only one progresses. And from area, one. Division, one. And most of us will try at least once or twice, then they realize it's not for me. They just do not like me. Stand in front of a mirror and say, this is not the best content I ever wrote. Maybe I need to polish my skills. Maybe the metal chunk that went into the furnace is not hot enough. It was not soft and malleable. You have to loose, you have to become soft and malleable. Only then you can be stretched. Heat beat and repeat. It's a long process. Once or twice we lose, we think this was not for me. We start blaming others that this gentleman did not like me. I spoken very well. My content was better. That guy hired humor in his speech, that's why he won. People think that yes, humor works. Yes, humor works, but not necessarily all the time. There are speeches, there are world champions without adding a humor have won. But I'm not saying that you do not add humor. Add humor, yes, it works well. Because sometimes most of the content that we speak about are emotional. And when you're taking the audience somewhere here, you don't want to keep them there for a longer time. Because emotion is something people will live in that emotion for a very longer time. And then you have to come up with the humor to lift them up. Otherwise, what you say in the next 2 minutes, people are still stuck in that emotion. They might not cry with you, but inside they're crying. You should have emotion. You should personalize your story. The content can be broad. You might think, where do I start? Where do I begin with? What do I speak? No matter whatever subject you take, pull less or bend more, Dhananjay, I see something in you, have been spoken by many people in the world. But they had something new to offer. I spoke about if not now, then when. I spoke about it's okay to be embarrassed once and forever. Back in the game, all are the same. What attracts us is that simple catchphrase, is that takeaway message. Can I bring something new? Can I add some little more ingredients, add little more garnish into my dish and present it even better? What topic is really close to your heart? I would like to ask 3 people in the audience. Top 3 topics which are closer to you. Any topic? Yes.
Control your anger.
Control your anger, okay. Anybody else?
Stay patient, stay calm.
It's the same. I mean, almost the same. Right? Yes.
Procrastinate.
Procrastination. Yes. Okay.
Success.
Success. Success. People have spoken in the past about success.
Saturday.
You will see 100 books in a bookstore on success. Procrastination. Many books. Like you said. Yeah.
Stay calm. Stay patient.
Yeah. It's been spoken. It's been spoken. Yes.
Mental disorder.
Mental disorder.
Anxiousness or
Okay. Okay. It has been also spoken. But what I'm trying to say is, you want to think something new. I have to do something new now. But whatever think of it, it has been already spoken. Even I have this issue, or I have this problem when selecting a topic. We all find this, we are struck in that moment. What do I speak? Something is very close to my heart. But I cannot talk about it. Now content, we say it should be universal. Now when we say universal, like world championship, something is very commonly spoken about. Marriages in India are something different, we say. Aaron won. It's because the way he presented it differently. You should not speak on that topic, but he broke that barrier. And what was his name? From Australia, he spoke about organ donation this year in World Championship. He spoke about organ donation. Before you die, sign up a contract so that your organ can be donated some. This year, in 2019. Yeah. Sangakar, no, Sangekar. Kumar Sangekar, something like that. Alright. That topic is very interesting now. No matter what you take, it has already been spoken. So do not worry. Whatever is close to your heart, what you feel right now, and what is comfortable to you, you should be speaking that rather than selecting something else. Because you know yourself well. If you personalize your own story, because stories are everywhere. I have 2 pets. I write speeches about my pets. What do I learn from them? Look around. You have multiple stories to talk about. Never stick to one particular story. Do not think of a catchphrase first. Write your content. The word count can go up to 1000, 2000 when you write first. And then you have to chop it down accordingly so that you fit under a time frame of 5 to 7 minutes. Ideally, the word count is somewhere between 100 to 140 words a minute. The way I speak, it could be 100 to 110. Somebody who speaks really fast, it could be 125 a minute. Usually, I write my speeches somewhere between 650 to 750 or maximum 800 is what I target. If I think there are a lot of humor, I would chop it down to 700 to 750. Will not go beyond 750. Because during laughter, you might lose couple of seconds, which could be 5, 10, 15, if there is an applause in between. And it happens. You do not anticipate that. You did not actually time that in your speeches. That is why we say not more than 750 words for a 5 to 7 minute speech. When you write something, catchphrase is very important. It's because that is your takeaway message for the people. People will not remember your entire speech. I see something in you was a takeaway, and you remember the entire speech. He had encapsulated that one particular speech in a small content, in small catchphrase, and it should not be beyond 4 to 6 words. Your catchphrase should be this much, 4 to 6. Pull less or bend more is a catchphrase again. That's how we remember the entire speech. Judges will mark accordingly. What happens is there are 10 contestants for an example. If you are speaking first, you're marked in that 1 minute gap. Second speaker, third speaker, fourth speaker, and by the time they reach the 10th speaker, another minute is given or 2 minutes is given to the judges to mark their ballots. It becomes very difficult for a judge to remember the first speaker and second speaker. Judges are humans. How do they remember speeches? You have to tell them, see, this is my speech. Back in the game, can be I see something. Pull less or bend more. Just that catchphrase is a takeaway message, and it should be repeated at least twice, thrice in your speeches, but do not repeat it again and again. People like hammering, but not much. Otherwise, you're overdoing it. If you know you are a winner already, stay grounded. It's okay. There are better players outside. ToastMaster is this much. We talk about 3,300 clubs or something all in the world. But your natural test is outside. You want to inspire people who are sitting in your audience. But what if you're not applying yourself? You talk about humility, you talk about success, but the same principles are not applied outside. That's what I say to my mentees. Stay grounded. Because that's a true test of a champion. It should not go into your head. If it goes here, even if you become a champion based on the mark sheet or the ballots, people will not love you. Why do we love underdog? Tell me something. Rabbit and a hare story we have heard multiple times. We wanted that rabbit to lose. Okay? Why?
Arrogant. It's not arrogant, grounded.
Talk about any story. Okay, let's say, what story do you remember apart from this?
At the India.
At the end. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. What else?
Dangal.
Dangal. Okay. What else? Harry As a kid, what would you learn from any story? What stories do you remember apart from this?
$1 million.
Million dollar baby. It's a boxing thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
People who don't complain but keep working win the game.
Okay.
Gladiator.
It's because since we're kids, we've been taught refuse to give up. Underdog will eventually win. Happy ending always. That's how our mentality has been set. We always love the underdog. Imagine there are 10 speakers and we know yes, do not be, go along with that particular speaker. One person knows as a champion already. Judges may or may not be biased. That's okay. But what about the people? Judges is just 10% or 2% of the audience. If this is my audience, there'd be hardly 3 or 4 judges. You might not win according to judges, but you have to win the audience. For that, you should be an underdog. It's okay to lose. It's okay to be ashamed once, then forever. I'm doing this 20 days no sugar challenge. Ravi is part of that group. So this is 2 weeks now, 1 more week to go. Why did I do it? I could have just said, I will do it on my own. 20 days no sugar challenge. But I thought whenever I do that, I have a sweet taste. I love sweets, I love desserts. I'm a chef and I have a bakery called Daisy Dozen. I cannot live without dessert. At least in a week or 2 I have sweets. But 20 days was difficult. I could have done it, but I knew after a week I would have had anything. But till today, I did not eat anything. This is my 14 to 15 day now. When I created a group, I did not expect so many people will actually come into it. And now, maybe since I'm leading that group, maybe people have expectation, maybe because I want to push others, maybe I want to set an example for others. I did not have sugar. People love you for that. People look up to you for that. And maybe you don't want to disappoint these guys. Not everybody is following exactly the way I'm following, but it's okay to be in a group. So when I realized in a group, I became even stronger. So when you lose, or when you actually want somebody's help, you should have a good company within. You might win or you might lose. When you lose, according to the judge's balance sheet, it's okay. There are people, there are mentors who come to you and hug you. And that's the best reward, ladies and gentlemen. Do not think of that you're winning or losing there. Think about, do I actually feel it? The way what I'm saying, does it make sense to me first? If it is not making sense to me, it is not going to make sense to you as well. It's very contagious. You might stand here and talk about the beautiful language. You might have a great vocabulary, great vocal variety, stage movement, amazing. If there is no connect, it is not coming from here, just from here. It does not make any sense. Because whatever I said 100 to 120 words is technical. But if it is not coming from within, this I can't teach you. What I'm saying right now is what I have learned in the few years of ToastMasters, being contesting as public speaker. I'm sharing those inputs with you. You might get n number of explanation or tips on how to become a good public speaker. But end of the day, it's you who are going to speak on stage. If I'm standing, I'm Azhar, I should be Azhar. If I go out, I should behave like what I'm behaving on stage. When I started contesting, I showed my video to a couple of my friends whom I live with. So they looked, this is not you, he said, because these guys know me for last 10, 20, 30 years. That is natural. The way you speak outside, it should be here. We try great body language. We will move from stage to stage. We'll use his hand gestures we never do with our friends. Don't overdo it. People will see it. You can stand in one place and speak and move mountains. If you have the courage and ability to speak something from the heart. I know for the fact that I have the ability to make people cry, to make people laugh. But my humor works all the time? No. I accept it. So embrace your failures. What works for you? Work on those strengths, but do not ignore your weaknesses. Embrace your failures. There was a guy who actually wanted to become in a sense, how do I say it? He wanted to have great wealth. He has been working in a good company for around 10, 12 years. But savings, no. So he thought he will go to a financial advisor. The financial advisor had a great office, swanky building, in a great location, great ambience. So when he entered this manager, he saw there was no reception at the desk. Usually you see a reception at the desk. So when he entered, there were two doors. It said employed or self-employed. So he's working with other company. So we entered the door employed. To see another two doors, it said 40,000 a month, more than 40,000 a month. So he was doing less than 40,000 a month. He entered there. So he saw another two doors. It said less than 1 lakh a year saving, more than a lakh saving. So he knew he had just 12,000 balance. So he entered that building. He came back to where he started. We are that manager in a story. The financial advisor didn't want to waste time. The moral of the story is, if you try to open the same doors again and again, it will lead you to the same door. We all have been doing it for all these years. Try a different approach. You may have the great mentors in your life. It's not going to work until you change your attitude. Opening same doors will lead you to same results. I have been guilty. I have been doing it for many years. Then I said, let me start something new. So I had a couple of inputs from different people. My approach became different. But no, yes, championship is coming. Speech ready? No. When is the contest? Next week. Speech is not ready. It's not going to work. People have been writing speeches for a year or more than a year. I've been doing it? No, either. I take about 2-3 months in advance to write my speech. My contest speech is ready? Yes, it is ready. But should I be doing it a year in advance? Yes, I should be doing it, but I'm unable to do it for various reasons. But this time around, the practice should be different. I should be more natural on stage. The content should be strong. I should actually be very natural on stage. We are rehearsing. Contest number 7, Azharuddin Khadri. I'm still looking at my script. Do not do it. You should not carry your script on the day of the contest. You should sit, just have a sip of water before you go on stage. Calm, breathe deeply. Just remember the first line of the speech, you'll remember the entire script. Do not memorize your speech. I visualize. We all prepare differently. Somebody says, stand in front of a mirror. Somebody says, stand in front of a camera and start speaking. It's not going to work for everybody. You should know what works well for you. Whatever I say right now should not be included in your speeches. We all have little bit of chance in that, okay, yes, this is working well for me. We all have certain limitations. We think by using great language, great vocabulary, a lot of vivid words will make us a champion. The world champion speeches that you hear are very simple language. If you show that language to a small kid and the aged people, they all will understand. Very simple language. Every word has a syllable. What is syllable? The way we pronounce certain words. Like pronunciation. One syllable. Nun-C-A-tion. So it's a big word. Ideally, your word should not be more than 3 to 4 syllables. Your sentences, brevity is the king, content is the king. Brevity means which is shorter sentences. Our sentences starts from here, 1, 2, 3 and full stop. No pauses. By the time when you pause, the first line being forgotten by the audience. Short sentences, brevity. People, world champion, Prasian Vasilev had I think 564 or 584 words. Only world champion to have limited number of words. But because he had a lot of body language. But in today's time, going to work, I don't think it's going to work. The kind of narration that he had on stage, Prasian Vasilev. Do not memorize your speech. Something is very close to your heart. Do that. Everything has been spoken. Do not worry. But when you write something, an idea will pop up. Check what can be my message. What is my catchphrase? A catchphrase should not be more than 3 to 4 words. Maximum to 5 words. It should be very sticky. Something is very sticky, sticks forever. So you have to fake it until you make it. That's what we say. You come on stage, embrace your failures, never ever give up. Keep trying. Many world champions have been trying for 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, then they won. Then they become a world champion. It's because they have been preparing. Because those guys were metal chunks at one point in time. And those guys have been forged in fire. So forging is very important. Heat, beat and repeat. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. For 1 to 2 minutes, if they 1 to 2 minutes, that's it for questions. Any questions? Yes.
So you say that do not memorize the speech, but you have to have a basic understanding that what you're gonna like, what will be the steps of your like basic content of your speech, basic flow. But when you try to explain that particular step, so at that point, at the point of speaking, you never come up with sentences properly that are properly framed.
Okay.
In that case, you need to remember. So
I would like to know, are you a member or a guest in the house?
I'm a member. Like
Okay.
it's my 4th session, 4th or 5th.
Okay, so we say prepared speeches. So when we become a member, we prepare our speeches because based on certain objectives. We should write our speeches. People have a habit of just having little pointers. I will speak on that pointers. Never do that. Word to word you have to write it because when you read a book, it's for the eyes and speeches are for the ears. The way you speak outside should be your speech. It's not an essay. You have to write each and every word and then you read out loud. If it sounds good for your ears and your friends, keep that sentence or do not keep it. Like I said, 110 to 120 words a minute depending on your pace of speaking, the rate at which you speak. Maximum 600 to 750 words, not more than that. Write word to word and you have to use that, nothing apart from that.
But if I'm writing the whole speech down and then I have to speak it, so isn't it like I'm memorizing the whole speech then?
You do not memorize like we mug up. Memorize in a sense, you have to visualize how you start. Now in my content, Mujib was my story, in a sense like he was actually there. The sink was there, my uncle was there, the gentleman was there. I don't have to memorize each and every word. But I know this is the flow. This is how I'm going to say it. When you visualize, right now I'm actually here. When I was talking about the sink and Bangalore, I visited Bangalore in my mind while I was speaking to you. That's how it becomes very easy for you. This is how it has worked for me. You have to understand your style of speaking. But do not memorize because when you memorize, it doesn't come from your heart. Alright? Did I answer your question? Thank you. I think I'll take only one question. If you do not have any question after the session, I'll definitely be here for 10 to 15 minutes. Yes.
Basically, when we start our speech, it's generally we get nervous.
Yeah.
And starting the speech. So how to? Yes, of course, it's a time requires. But I understood for that. What is your methodology to be calm
Okay.
and start it well?
Okay. Even I get nervous. Even today, if my name has been called or they are about to call, I get nervous. I have understood this phenomena that when I have water before going on stage, I take water, I keep here, I don't drink it. I take a couple of sips and wait. Before my name is announced, before leaving, I drink it and go. And just look for at least 2 to 5 seconds in everybody's eyes. Number one. And before the contest, I generally visit and meet each and every one. Assume you have 50 people. Meet and shake hands, look into their eyes, at least 25-30%. You are aware of your audience. Then when you start speaking, look for the rest 75 people, 75% of the people. You become even aware. Do you get nervous when you speak to people you know? No. It's psychological. So, you should become friends, not foes. Meet, greet, sit calmly. Do not sit in just one place. Move around. Be on the stage. See how the stage looks like from here. I think when I came, I met at least 8 to 10 people. Later, people moved in. That's another story. But this is how it has worked for me. Before the session, meet, greet them, speak to them, know your audience well. When you stand here, just do not begin speaking. If you think you're going to forget, you will forget your lines. Just stand here and look, and then you begin speaking. Wait for the contest chair, wait for the DMOD to sit. That's the etiquette you start speaking. Do not rush, because people are still applauding, people are still checking their mobile. What was the last WhatsApp they got? Let them relax. Because silence is golden. If you're standing here for 5 seconds, people want to think, what happened to this guy? Did he freeze? They have your attention. And then begin speaking. Yeah? Thank you. I think that was the last question. Thank you so much, guys.